Good morning for about, I don't know, what, 12, 13 more minutes. It's Thursday, April 30th. Pastor Allan with an update on some various things so that we can keep you as informed as possible. What I'm about to say is going to be also put in the form of a letter and sent to everyone in the congregation, so everyone will be able to get this information. But I wanted to post it now so that those of you who have access to this technology are able to have it now. So let's talk about several things. I know that we have all been watching the governor and Governor DeWine, who is beginning a slow open of things in Ohio starting on Monday, this coming Monday. And so with that in mind, what is it that we are thinking about here at First United Methodist Church in Ashland, Ohio? And so in consulting with our leadership over the past few days, just here inform you of certain things that remain and certain things that are going to be happening. So first, as far as in-person worship goes, we will not be worshiping in person through the month of May. Not only are gatherings of more than 10 still prohibited, it still is just not a good idea. So we will not be worshiping in person through the end of May. Hopefully at some point in June, we can begin some kind of in-person worship, depending on the context and situation. But it, as you know, it's fluid. And so we're just going to have to open that up as we are able. We are going to be, Lindsay Funtick and I have been having some consultation together. And so one of the things we're going to be doing starting the middle of this month through the end of this month is that we do want to provide opportunities for those who desire to come here and gather in person on very small group basis, no more than 10, and observing the protocols. And what are the protocols that we will be observing in order to have these 10-person social distance gatherings? And that is, first, everyone who comes in will have to wear a mask. That will be required. If you do not have a mask, we will provide one for you and give you one. Thanks to Jenny Boyer, who has made a lot of masks and given them to the church. And so we will provide you one if you don't have one. Everyone will also have to sanitize their hands. And in fact, the church is working on securing several automatic hand sanitizer dispensers that will be on stands that we can put throughout the church where they're needed. So everyone will have to sanitize their hands, observe the social distancing rules. Probably we'll have this in Dowk Hall, which is a place where we can sit from afar and fellowship together. So we do want to provide these times of in-person gatherings for those who desire it. So what we're going to do is we'll let you know about the dates and times. We'll actually have people who want to will have to sign up so that we know we don't get too many people. But that is coming, so look for more information on that. The office remains officially closed. We do not want to open the office yet to people from outside for the sake of the staff who are here. For Brenda, who is here most days during the week. Delilah comes in a week, couple times or so to do her work. I'm in a couple of times a week. And so we just don't want to open that up to the public. However, while the office is still officially closed, if you need to come in and do some business with Brenda, or you need to have a conversation with me in person from a distance, call the church office. And first call it just to make sure someone's here. But secondly, call so that we can schedule a time that you can come in and we can accommodate you, because we're glad to do that. Again, we'll practice social distancing with masks, hand sanitizer, safe distance away. But we want to accommodate that for you. So while the office is officially closed and looks officially closed from the outside, if you need to come in, it's open to you. Just please let us know so we can work to accommodate you. The other thing I want to back up because I wanted to say in reference to worship. The other thing is we're still being guided by our bishop and cabinet in our conference on this. Our bishop has sent out a video just reminding us about worship and not meeting in person and being careful. And we will be guided by them as when they start thinking, we can begin to open up. So I just want to say that we're following their advice as well. So this is very important. All right. We're still not having smaller groups come in, certain groups like the Boy Scout, the Cub Scouts, and others, and they probably have their own rules at this point. Weight Watchers is their rules are they're going to be meeting online through the end of May. So we'll see what happens with June if we begin to let in some smaller group functions, as long as they can follow the guidelines, the protocols that are put out by the state of Ohio. So we'll continue to do that. Finally, I want to say, well, two things. The first is, I've been consulting with our leadership. We're very blessed to have such good leaders here at Ashland First who give such good wisdom, and I'm thankful for all of them. And so I'm not a person who makes decisions unilaterally unless I have to. I prefer collaboration and consultation, and they have just been so helpful in consulting and giving me wisdom. But you need to know that by the book of discipline, worship and its schedule and its function and actually the usage of the building ultimately is the decision of the pastor. Now, I say that not to tell you that I will be making decisions unilaterally, because that will not be happening. But I say that to tell you I take this very seriously. I know that ultimately it will be my decision when worship starts up. Ultimately, it will be my decision when groups start to function and meet. And so I take the safety of the church for all of you as parishioners and the public who will come in. I take that very seriously. It's a very sobering decision to have to make. And I want to make sure that when these decisions are made, when I finally make this decision, which ultimately comes back on me, I want to make sure that I make the decision that is best serves you as the congregation, best serves you and your safety out of concern for you. We want everybody, when we finally get back together, we want everybody to be here. We want to gather together, and we don't want any missing seats, missing spaces. So just understand that we're working very hard, and we're working long to come up with the best decision possible, and no decisions will be perfect because no situations are perfect, but we're doing our best. And I just want you to know that we're trying hard, and I just appreciate the leadership of this church, and I hope you do too. Please pray for them as they also have decisions that they have to weigh in this time. Let me say just one other thing before I close out. As we begin to open this thing up, and for those who have to go out or begin to feel like they can go out a little bit, I've said before that part of one of the most important ways we, the church, can follow Jesus' command to love our neighbor as ourselves is to love them at a safe distance, to be concerned about their well-being, which means we do our best not to pass anything on to anyone else that we might have. I know there's been some controversy about wearing masks in public. I know that sometimes there are certain contexts, certain situations where it may be difficult for people to wear a mask, and I understand that that happens. But here's what I want to say. I wear a mask in public every time I go out. I wear a mask, and I know there may be some people who think that wearing a mask is overkill. That maybe it doesn't do what it needs to do, or it's not as effective as some people say it might be. Here's what I'd like to say to that the church has a wonderful opportunity to love our neighbor as ourselves by doing our best to demonstrate that, even in the small act of wearing a mask. So it might be that I might think wearing a mask is a little silly or is going to be a little uncomfortable. But the reality is, by wearing a mask out in public, I'm saying to all of those who see me, I care about you. I care about your well-being, and I care about your health. I would be aghast if I had something and didn't know it, and I pass it on to you because I wasn't taking the best precautions possible, though not perfect. So for those of you who will be going out, I just want to encourage you that one of the ways we, the church, can fulfill the mission of loving our neighbor as ourselves in this time is fulfilled in the simple practice of wearing a mask when we're out in public. So just some thoughts, because the church's mission is still its mission. It hasn't changed. The mission isn't on hold because of this. The mission may look a little different, but it's not on hold. So let's love our neighbors as ourselves, use hand sanitizer, wash our hands a lot, wear masks, and if someone sees you in public, although no one will probably ask, but if someone sees you and say, why are you wearing a mask? You can say, it's because I love you. And it's because Jesus loves you, and I want to make sure you are as safe as you can be. Friends, thanks again. Thanks for your help in this time and your support. Thank you for your contributions. Please continue to send in the contributions because we still have expenses. But I have been very touched, though I'm not surprised, how generous you have been in this time, continuing to send in gifts and contributions so that we can pay the bills we have to pay. You continue to be a very generous people, and I am very grateful to you for that, and I thank God for all of you. All right, friends, have a good day. Enjoy the end of April as we are now into May, and we will continue to plug along. And always remember, as I've said before, even though we are social distancing, God is not a respecter of social distance. He has come to us in Jesus Christ and given us his very presence, and thank God for that. God is with us in this day. That's the best thing of all. Take care.